Everton Football Club have been deducted 10 points from the Premier League this season. What does that mean for everyone else in the league, though? Let's talk about it. Yes, guys, big up to everyone. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, this ain't going to be really a Liverpool content show, but I thought it was news to bring. I think we should be talking about this right now. Everton Football Club have been deducted 10 points in the Premier League, the highest deduction the Premier League has ever done, the highest deduction a Premier League club has ever received. And Everton Football Club have got that. And it's going to be interesting. Certain clubs getting away with things, certain clubs not getting away with things. So it's hard for Everton. I think with Everton Football Club, look, I feel bad for them. Look, don't get me wrong. Everton deserve what they got. Everton broke the rules and are being punished, like every club should be. If you break the rules, you should be punished. Everton Football Club broke the rules. They're being punished. Just fair as it is. Is 10 points too big of a point deduction? I don't know. We're going to talk about that, guys. But there's a lot of things coming from this. It's just not Everton being deducted these 10 points. It's the fact of the follow-on this is going to have. This is going to have massive ramifications for a lot of teams in the Premier League now. You've got teams looking to sue Everton Football Club, like Nottingham Forest and Sheffield United. You've got Leicester City. I've just been hearing now Leicester City are looking at suing or questions to the Premier League, because remember, Leicester City got relegated last year. Everton hung on by the skin of their teeth. All this time, the Premier League knew Everton were cheating. They broke the rules. They were going to be punished. And teams like Leicester City, who have been in the Premier League all this time, played within the rules, got relegated. It's massive. It's huge, and we need to talk about it. Even though I'm not an Everton fan and this is not an Everton channel, I think all us content creators should be talking about this right now, because it's a massive thing. It's an issue in our game right now that we need to sort out. But big up to everyone in chat. Big up Famir in the chat. Big up Red Scout. Derek. Boom, boom. Easy to pick on Everton. Exactly. Red for Life in the house. How you doing? Ashley. Big up to you. Hope you're doing well. Big up Paul Turner. Hi, Jamie. Hope you're okay and your family are well. Sorry, I don't watch all your live shows, but I do watch them back. In my opinion, they're the best Liverpool channel on YouTube. Really fantastic content. Paul Turner, that's a beautiful thing for you to say. I love that. Thank you very much. You know, you guys make my channel. I can't do this without you guys and your beautiful comments and you guys watching every show I do. Yeah, big up. You don't have to watch them live. That's what the whole thing's there for. People go back and watch them later on during the day, whenever you want to watch them. But yeah, that means a lot, Paul. Thank you. Shred that guitar, James. Big up, Corey. Big up Drone. Can't believe Everton got punished before 115 plus 1 million. Big up Jice. Big up Panoff. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, LFC Aaron in the house as well. Alexander in the house. Hi, Jamie. Yes, let's be fair now. Not only Everton. Yeah, we're going to chat about it, man. We're going to chat about it. We're going to be fair and impartial here. Maroon, how you doing? They can't let City charges slide. They have to be made an example of, otherwise they're a set of president or teams doing what they want. They can't be allowed. I agree. Big up John Conway. Mac LFC in the house. The 𝐁𝐑𝐄𝐊𝐍𝐆 set president now. If they fail to act in the City charges, they will look so corrupt. They say will. Big up Boom Boom in the chat. Corrupt sport. Big up Sadiq, my man. Sadiq in the house. How you doing, my man? Hope you're doing well. Cedric in the house as well. Aaron with the Man City eye emoji. Cheers, Paul. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love from all of you. Thank you very much. I've got sort of a new camera angle I'm trying to test out today, guys. So I've set my camera on a tripod and put it a bit further back. So hopefully it's a bit of a better camera angle, a bit of a better picture quality. But yeah, big up Redbird in the house as well. Yeah, look. I'm gonna play some. What I'm gonna do? There's some things that I'm gonna play some videos, and hopefully I don't get copyrighted from, because you know what these bastards are like. Let me pause it right there. Right. So I'm going to share what Jamie Carragher had to say. Remember, Jamie Carragher is a big Everton fan. So we're going to see what Jamie Carragher has to say about all this right now. We're going to talk about. We're going to break this down. We're going to be fair, guys. You know what I'm saying? We are going to be fair. All right, hang on. Shut up, Jamie. All right. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. Right. Let's give this a go.
Pounds, and the fact that Everton have been working with the Premier League, I think, for the last couple of years, you know, you think, you know, it is a small figure, really, when you think of, you know, in terms of the Premier League now and transfer fees, and we're talking about other clubs being upset, maybe Everton were buying players that maybe they should not have done. But, you know, in the last sort of few transfer windows, some of the players that Everton have brought in, and if they're working with the Premier League, why, and this is the figure, 20 million, I don't understand why Everton were just told, you know, a certain player that they brought in that they couldn't bring in. But it just feels like, for me, I think taking points off clubs is really tough. And I think that punishment has to be a really, almost like the last resort, really. I think you can have transfer embargo, fines, certainly for a club like Everton right now, when we're talking about £20 million going over the threshold that they should have been. I think it was 105. So it feels very excessive. And I do feel for Everton right now, certainly when you consider what's happening with other clubs at the moment, and also the fact that there was certainly the six big clubs in or the big six, if you like, supposedly big six. You know what happened with the Super League a couple of years ago as well, where they actually threatened to leave the league, and I think there was a £22 million.
No, he didn't. Liverpool. I don't like Jamie Carragher. I'm going to say it right now. Look, the six teams that tried to join the Super League never wanted to leave the Premier League. They wanted to leave European football, i.e. the Champions League, and play Super League football, but continue playing Premier League football. This weren't a Premier League issue. The teams that wanted to join the Super League never, ever, ever threatened to leave the Premier League. They wanted to leave the Champions League. You know, this sort of mindset is mad. And the Premier League told the six teams that wanted to join the Super League that they could be pushed out of the Premier League if they do it. So Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, they never wanted to leave the Premier League. In fact, the Premier League told them, if you join the Super League, we're going to push you out of the Premier League. So Jamie Carragher coming up with it, he's such a bellend at times. Comes out with so much crap.
fine, I think, spread between the 6 clubs. So when you actually think what happened there, and compare that to what Everton have been involved in, and the fact they've now got a 10-point deduction and puts them almost bottom of the league, only off the bottom on goal difference. Yes, I think it's excessive.
And in fact, Everton have said in their statement in response that they are going to be monitoring closely what happens with other Premier League clubs and cases involving them. And it's interesting, isn't it? They would have got a 9-point deduction if they got into administration. It is 10 as a result of this breach of profit and sustainability rules. The Everton fans have been through so much in recent years, Jamie. I mean, how much is this going to hurt right now?
Of course it'll hurt, but like any football club who this could have happened to, I think it'll galvanise them. They'll feel the world's against them. I don't think it'll make Manchester United's job any easier when they go to Goodison Park in about 10 days. And if truth be told, if you were ever going to get a points deduction at any stage in any time, probably in the Premier League era, this season mightn't be the worst one to actually take the 10 points.
Yeah, look, he's right there. At the end of the day, Everton aren't going to get relegated, guys. They're not going to get relegated. Look at the state of that stadium. Jesus Christ. Everton are not going to get relegated. Luton, Sheffield United and Burnley are terrible. Let's get this right. And Bournemouth as well. They are absolutely terrible. So Carragher's right there. The point deduction, look, it's bad at the moment, but I don't think they're going to get relegated from it because of them 3 and 4 other teams I think Everton are better at. I mean, Everton was sitting 14th in the table before this point deduction, quite starting to play, starting to get going again. So I don't think it's going to hurt Everton for the season. It's going to put them where they shouldn't be. But look, you break the rules, this is the punishment. Carragher keeps on about, Jamie Carragher keeps going on about that teams that, this is the biggest point deduction in the history of the Premier League. It's the biggest whatever the Premier League has ever given out to a football team. And they broke one rule. The rule they broke, the laws they broke. Everton know them laws and rules. Every Premier League team has to abide by the rules the Premier League put out on a daily basis. And Everton broke them. As Jamie Carragher said there, they never made enough money back. They never made enough money back from the amount of money they spent under Monsieur. So Everton have got only themselves to blame. Now, Everton are obviously going to appeal this, and everyone's a right to an appeal. I think Everton will get some points taken off. I don't think at the end of the appeal it'll be a 10-point deduction. You're probably looking at something like a 6 to 8 point deduction. They'll take a few off there. But, yeah, Everton have only got themselves to blame, but it's not just the Everton thing we're going to have to chat about today, guys, but yeah, it's mad.
Deduction. I know Everton are fighting it and doing all as they can, but Everton will still be in the Premier League next season with this points deduction. I'm pretty certain of that.
You're right that had this points deduction come in last season, it would have been perilous for Everton because they would have been relegated. They only finished 2 points above the bottom 3 in the end. They would have been relegated by 8 points, Jamie. But instead, they're only 2 points from safety right now. Their goal difference is relatively good. I suppose there'll be some other parties, let alone Everton right now, who might feel aggrieved, namely the clubs that did get relegated last season and those who are around them now in that bottom 3 this season. Do you feel that it's fair to apply that now as opposed to maybe last season?
Yeah, I totally get certainly clubs that have been relegated in the last couple of years. There's no doubt, people have been looking at Everton's finances, certainly the Premier League, and that's what I said. They've been working together for the last couple of years now, and I can understand those clubs feeling aggrieved and the fact that maybe an Everton's point deduction wasn't taken into account when, these things were going on and they were really affected. As you said, Everton would have went down last season, maybe the season before as well, and they're probably the clubs who've been relegated in that season will feel aggrieved. There's no doubt they'll have been putting big.
And I think this is where Leicester City come in, guys. I think Leicester City are now going to be looking at this and thinking, if this point deduction came in last season, we would have been safe. I think there's things at the moment that Leicester City are looking to get some information on why this didn't come in last season. They're going to be looking for ways to get around this. You know, Leicester fans that I know are fuming at the moment. This is coming now. Yeah, it's looking awful, man. It's looking bad. The knock-off effect on a lot of things here, guys. The knock-on effect on a lot of this is mad. It's, you know, you're looking at the teams that got relegated, especially Leicester City. You look at the new teams promoted, and you know, you gotta be looking at Sheffield United, Luton, and that. They're gonna be like, hang on, you know, what are we competing with here down at the bottom of the table? What are we competing with here? And then you got the top end of the table. You got the top end of the table, and we're going to talk about Manchester City and Chelsea later. This has got surely massive things on all of it. On all of it. I am surprised. The corruption in football right now, and especially the Premier League, for me, it's bad. It's wrong. You know, I'm looking at the Premier. I've been saying, how long have I been saying this, guys, about corruption in this league? I've been saying it for so long now. You look at Italy. In Italy, they straight away. Look at the criminal investigations they do in Italy to Juventus and teams like that. Criminal charges are taken. They don't mess about. They don't mess about in Italy. They get you done. In Spain, Barcelona are hanging on by a thread. Hanging on by a thread. They may never be the same team ever again, Barcelona, to what they were years ago because of corruption. And in the Premier League, Everton Football Club, who's one of the little guys, let's face it, they're not, you know, Everton fans think they're a big team. They're not. They're one of the little guys, yeah? And they haven't got the money of City and Chelsea. So it's so easy for the Premier League to do it so quickly and just go, right, here's the thing. They've been looking at Everton for a couple of seasons now. They've been investigating Everton for a couple of years. We heard this 2 years ago and nothing happened. They've been investigating it for that long. And now they've come to the decision that, yeah, they're guilty of what they've done, 10-point deduction. I have no idea if there's a fine as well. I have no idea if there's a fine involved. If there is a fine involved, you're looking at even worse, you know, for Everton, because I feel for them, because I think they've been picked on because they're the little guy and it's easy to pick on the little guy. But let me just finish what Carragher's saying and then we'll carry on.
Big pressure on the Premier League to sort this out, and there's no doubt. I don't think Everton are saying they haven't, you know, gone across the threshold of £105 million in losses. I think they admit that. They're saying it's 9 million. I think the Premier League or the Commission are saying it's 20. But there's no doubt they've broken the rules, and when you break the rules, you should be punished. It's just that for me, I just think taking 10 points off a team just feels like an awful lot. Something, as you said, when you come to me, unprecedented. We've never seen this sort of level of sanction before, and the way that I can't get away from it just feels excessive. And Everton will feel like they're getting punished, and you know, they're the ones maybe getting used at this moment. There's a lot of talk about an independent regulator coming into, you know, to football and English football, and so I can understand that feeling at the moment.
There is some precedence when you look at what's happened in the EFL. Sheffield Wednesday were given a 12-point deduction, and that was reduced on appeal to 6. You mentioned it before, Jamie, alluding to a few reasons why Everton perhaps will feel hard done by right now, and I suppose the reasons around which they will mount their defence. Do you feel that they've got a good case to get the points deduction reduced?
I think they have. You know, they will appeal that. And I think certain situations with the stadium, I think there was a rule change a couple of years ago with the, you know, when you're playing for a stadium, but the actual interest on the stadium, and we know where the world is right now in terms, you know, financially and interest rates, and then Everton are spending an awful lot of money and borrowing an awful lot of money to finish a stadium off. That will be absolutely, you know, transformational for Everton, you know, for the city, but also for the Premier League. It'd be massive for the Premier League to see Everton in that fantastic stadium on the River Mersey. And you know, there's been a slight rule change, I think, in the last year or so that's really affected Everton, because obviously we all know borrowing costs now have gone.
Right, Carragher making excuses for Everton is mad. I ain't gonna lie. 1 minute he's saying that Everton have done wrong and they should be rewarded this penalty, and then he's making all these, you know, look at the stadium costs. Shut up! Like, they've been done. I can't play too much more of that, guys, because they'll probably hit me with a copyright. So, I've got some other things as well we can see here. So I'll put this on the screen. So this is what Everton Football Club has said. So Everton Football Club is both shocked and disappointed by the ruling of the Premier League Commission. The club believes that the Commission has imposed a wholly I can't say that word. An unjust sporting sanction. The club has already communicated its intentions to appeal the decision to the Premier League. The appeal process will now commence, and the club's case will be heard by appeal board appointed pursuant to the Premier League rules in due course. Everton maintains that it has been open and transparent in the information it has provided to the Premier League, that it has always represented the integrity of the process. The clubs do not recognise the finding that it has failed to act with the utmost good faith, and it does not understand this to have been an allegation made by the Premier League during the course of the proceedings. Both the harshness and severity of the sanction imposed by the Commissioner are neither a fair nor a reasonable reflection of the evidence submitted. The club will also monitor with great interest the decisions made in any other cases concerning the Premier League profit and sustainability rules. Yeah, you know, they're chatting about there. Everton cannot comment on this matter any further until the appeal is processed. So that is a very important bit quote there, guys. That little paragraph there. The club will also monitor with great interest the decisions made in other cases concerning the Premier League profit and sustainability rules. I wonder who they're talking about. I wonder who they're talking about, guys. I wonder if they know who they're chatting about there. Yeah, it's a crazy one. That Man City, Manchester City. What I find mad, I still find this mad to this day, that Manchester City have got 115 charges against them that was brought forward by the Premier League in their investigation, and them charges still sit to this day, and they're allowed to carry on with their business. Now, Man City might be innocent of all this, yeah? And if they are, they are. I don't care really. But if they're innocent of all this, then they shouldn't have been playing. The problem is, as fans, we're looking at it and going, right, you've got a team there playing with 115 allegations against them that everyone is investigating, and they're allowed to get on with their daily work. They're allowed to buy players, sell players, all this sort of stuff, yeah? Chelsea Football Club at the same time also being looked at because the amount of money they have spent in a 12-month period. I don't know how the Premier League get around this. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think teams and fans now, especially Everton, they're going to want answers from the Premier League about what are you doing about the cases, especially the case towards Manchester City, because you've done us, right or wrongly, you've done us and you've deducted us points, yeah? But we are nothing in comparison to what's going on at Manchester City with 115 allegations against them right now. You know, we've just seen that Man City have got £716 million revenue this year. It's going to be the highest revenue in the world. They go top Real Madrid and Man United for revenue this year. It's madness. Where's it coming from? And I know Man City fans keep telling me it's because they won the treble and stuff like that. Yeah, that's fair enough. You got to get a good hunk of revenue from that. But Real Madrid won 4 Champions Leagues in a row, plus the Spanish League, La Liga and stuff like that, and won doubles and trebles and that, and still never got revenue like this. And they're the biggest team in world football. So things like this have to be looked at. You know, fans ain't going to stick around for much longer. And this is the problem. Fans are not going to stick around for much longer and see this continually happen. I know fans. I know some friends of mine that are starting to fall out of love with football. I know a lot of my friends are starting to fall out of love with football and not care as much as they used to, because of the consistent, obviously, corruption that allegedly goes on in our league and across football entirely. You know, these mega rich state-owned clubs seem like they can get away with whatever they want because they have so much money. These corporations can't take them to court. They can't battle them because these clubs are worth more than these corporations. You know, Man City are worth more. I've got more power and more money than UEFA combined. UEFA couldn't do anything about them. And everyone's starting to fall out of football with it. Look, my love for football is not as big as it used to be, I'll admit. I love my football club to death, and I watch Liverpool all the time. I follow them up and down the country, whatever. I'll always follow Liverpool Football Club. But there used to be time, I don't know about you guys in the chat, but I used to sit down and watch all football, no matter who was playing, when they were playing, what was playing. I used to love it. But now I haven't got that same sort of love because there's something not quite right with our game at the moment. There's something not quite right with our game at the moment. Our sport is got an issue at this moment in time. And we definitely need sorting. Something needs to happen. Some independent inquiry needs to come in. Like Carragher says there, just get an independent team in that is separate from everything, that can look at this, you know, objectively. Look at all the cases objectively. Now, I've never said our owners are great or anything, but they're always playing within. So Liverpool play within their means, yeah. So I've been having this argument with football fans for a long time now, yeah. For me, my opinion, your football club should be run on their means, yeah. So you spend what you earn, right? There's no going and getting loans. I find getting loans cheating. I do. Don't get loans unless you've got a really wealthy owner that can just afford what they afford. It's different. But if you haven't got that as a club, you should only spend within your means. And that's what Liverpool do. They spend within their means. And people might not like that. But if you look at the rules of football, that is what should be happening. It's what should be happening. And if you're working within your means and you're self-sustained and you're working in that way to keep your club well afloat, still buy good players and still compete. But then you've got other teams that are cheating and taking advantage of the system and making up sponsors that don't really exist, or your main sponsor is still the same guy who owns that company, who owns your football club. It's not right. So how's the teams that are self-sustainable trying to play that way? How are you ever meant to be successful? How are you ever meant to ever get ahead? It's what drives me mad about today's society, today's football. And it's not just football, it's society in general, ain't it? Everyone wants to be a billionaire. Everyone wants to be the next big thing. Everyone wants this. Everyone wants their 15 minutes. That's all you see in the world now. And it drives me mad. It never used to be like this. What's happened? What has happened? You know, you look at the way Liverpool are run. Let's look at the way Liverpool run. It might not be to everyone's cup of tea, yeah? But if we look at the rules that are in place in football, yeah? Liverpool's owners are probably trying to run the football club in order so they don't get fined, suspended, like any trouble in, yeah? So they're basically self-sustainable model. They're spending within their means, yeah? They're not going too over the top, not too under. They're spending within their means, yeah? And that's the way, for me, it should be. But then you got clubs just taking the absolute mick. They're taking the absolute pee out of everybody. For me, it's not right. It's not right. I don't think you should be making up fake sponsors and then for some reason and then getting millions of pounds from them. I don't think an airline should be buying you a star striker from Atletico Madrid. I don't think them things should be happening. You know, it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be bribing agents or anything like that to get ahead on stuff. It's absolutely mad right now. And I do feel for Everton a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, because It looks like they've been picked on because they're easy to pick on. You know, it's easy to pick on Everton Football Club because, you know, they're like, what you go come with us at, you know? All right, you go to appeal, we'll probably still win the appeal and you'll still get a points deduction. But what you go kill us with, you know? Going after the big teams around in this country and in Europe, you can't do anything about it. I like the way Italy do it. They don't mess around. They bring criminal charges. They find them as criminals. You know, money laundering is a criminal thing. Yeah, so they bring in the justice system and get them done. It's I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think any of you guys like it. But as we all know, it's the way of the world now. We got to live in this world. But yeah, money, it's becoming too money obsessed now. It's becoming too money obsessed. And the problem is, as fans, as fans of Liverpool Football Club, we want to try and compete with your Man Cities and your Real Madrids around the world, and your PSGs and stuff like that, right? But we financially really can't. And it's not a blight on anyone. We just financially can't compete with a Manchester City. The thing is, though, Liverpool go and buy certain players, Man City will look at that and just go, right, we get that player, and that player. You know, and then you sit there and you feel a bit deflated because you financially can't compete with them. You know, we're spending within our means, which is the proper way of doing it. It's the proper way of doing it. So you're always playing catch up. And so because of that, everyone wants new owners. So every Liverpool fan now wants state ownership. So then state ownership will come in and we'll just go get that. Let's get Mbappe. Let's get him. You know, we can then compete with Man City on a financial level and a playing level. You know, it's equal. But then what if all this what if that happens and what if that happens and then we get in trouble, guys? What if Liverpool the next one's in trouble? You know, we've already seen some of the deals Newcastle are doing. You know, the airline that's set up, brand new airline that they set up, is now their main sponsor. You know, the transfer dealings they're trying to do now by getting some Neves from the Saudi League to Newcastle on loan, you know, and the Premier League clubs are trying to stop that thing happening. You know, is it right? Is that the way it should be in a fair sport? You know, sport is meant to be played with fairness, a fair playing level. Now, there ain't a fair playing level in football and things like that because of leagues. You know, Premier League, you got different leagues. Some leagues are not going to be as good as others, blah, 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 blah. But there's got to be a fair playing level sometimes. How's all this fair? So, yeah, I do feel for Everton. Everton got caught cheating. They got punished. But I just feel like they've seen little Everton and gone, right, this is easy to do. And the big clubs are just going to get away with it, man. They're going to get away with it again. You know, it's a madness to me. And if Liverpool ever got caught up in all this as well, I'd say, yeah, if we broke the rules, we broke the rules. But I don't know what clubs are going to do, man. Something's got to happen. I'm getting sick of it, to be fair. So the Daily Mail was put out, Chelsea and Man City are set to face relegation from the Premier League after Everton's 10-point deduction if they are found guilty of breaking FFP rules. I don't think they're ever going to be found guilty of breaking FFP rules, to be fair. You know, I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how long this is going to take for the Man City thing to get sorted out. I just don't feel comfortable that a team with all these charges against them can carry on playing like it's nothing. Like there's nothing, you know, they got legit charges against them. Yeah, exactly, Ashley. You got legit charges against a football club, and they're just getting on with it like it's nothing, like you're allowed to do it. Like you're just allowed to do it. In my opinion, look, some sports have got other issues. Yeah, you look at boxing and MMA and stuff like that. In the past, they've had an issue with doping. You look at athletics. Athletics have had a major issue with doping, with drug doping in them sports, yeah, to improve performance, yeah. And they get caught. There's a big scandal at the moment, especially in athletics, some in boxing, MMA, people getting done for doping, yeah. And they're getting done and they're getting caught and they're getting lifetime bans or 2-year bans, 3-year bans for doping in their sport because they can't do it financially. In football at the moment, we have financial doping. It's the same thing in athletics. The athletes are doping and making their body stronger, faster, fitter, more, you know, so they can, you know, run the 100 meters in 8 seconds and all this nonsense, yeah. And they're getting done for it. They're getting big bans, years, financial bans, yeah. In football, we have got financial doping at the moment. Everyone seems to be getting away with. Yeah, it's all right, son. You get away with that. It's all right. You go and make up a company, sponsor your club, then shut that company down the next week. Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem. Have your club sponsored by the same bloke who owns your football club. Yeah, that's no problem. Go about your business. Do what you want. It has to be looked at in football. I'm not even just talking about City and Chelsea here. I'm talking about football in general. Financial doping is a massive issue right now in football, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. The corruption in football right now is mad. Everyone can see it. Every fan can see it for themselves. And it's just going on and on and on. And it's driving people away from the greatest sport on earth. This is the biggest and best sport on this planet. And people are getting driven away from it because they're not liking what they're seeing no more. They're falling out of love with the greatest game on earth because there's too many people sitting at the top of the mountain who just want to collect as much money as they possibly can, and they don't care about financial doping. And it's ruining this great sport. It just is. It's ruining this great sport. And people are just getting away with it constantly, and it's not right to me. It's not right to me. I'm getting sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. But poor, you know, Everton. Everton have been done. Everton cheated. As far as we can see right now, Everton broke the rules. So they've been punished. And you should be punished for breaking the rules. Is 10 points are too much of a deduction? I don't know. We'll have to wait till the appeal to see what else comes out. But 10 points is a massive deduction. You know, 10 points is a massive, massive deduction for a football club. The biggest the Premier League's ever handed out. And that is why fans are now assuming, well, if City get found guilty, surely you can't tell me City are innocent of all 115 charges. Even if they're guilty of 80 of them, even 50 of them, say that. They're innocent of the other lot, of 60 of it, but they're guilty for 50 of it, yeah? The deduction is going to be massive. The issue City are going to have is going to be massive because if you're deducting Everton for breaking one rule for 10 points and you've got all these charges against City and they get found guilty, the deduction's massive. They're going down in leagues. It's huge. It's huge. But what financial benefit do Premier League, FIFA and UEFA have with Man City getting relegated into 2 different leagues? What financial benefit do they get from it? And that's why we might never see it happen. Yeah, Everton spent over 3 years. They never made no money back. Exactly. Unfortunately, that's the issue in football right now. I don't like it. I hate it. This is why I argue with a lot of Liverpool fans about transfers all the time, because You just got to see what's going on in the world, you know. You've got to spend within your means. We can't spend like City do. We just can't. If we did, we'd break the rules, guys. We'd literally break the rules and we'd be punished. I think this is going to open up everyone's eyes now. It really is. It might be opening up. It might open up their eyes. It might open everyone's eyes up now to the way money is spent in the Premier League. It's just, and not just the Premier League, all over the world, man. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Jamie, Man City stopped Liverpool winning the league, so it's all right. I'm not having any other fancy. We're obviously after the fact. Big up, Aaron. Thank you very much for the super chat. Apparently, Littlewoods was known for illegal betting and money laundering, which massively financially benefited Liverpool in the 60s and 80s. Every established club is built off rich sugar daddy owners. Yeah, and that's a fact. Everyone should get done. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sitting here saying, I've already said it. If Liverpool have broke rules, Liverpool get done for it. I'm sick of financial things. But the thing is, you've got to live within your means. I've always said this. As long as you're living within your means, I don't care how rich your owner is, yeah? You might have the richest owner in the world, but the rules and the laws of the game are there to be abided by. So it don't matter how rich you are. It don't matter if you're state-owned. You still got to work within your means. You know, you can't just spend, 900 million and then make no money back. You can't do that. That's why I look at Newcastle. Newcastle really, although Newcastle got in the Champions League this season, they really couldn't go out in the summer and spend the 200 or 300 million that Newcastle probably really wanted to do because of FFP. They didn't sell enough. They didn't make enough money back yet. But in the years to come, if Newcastle start making a lot of money back, and especially a lot of revenue, commercial revenue, player sales and stuff like that, they can then go on and spend that money. But because you're living within your means. So the richer you are, the more you can spend as long as you make back that money. That's the issue here. And yeah, it's the same for football over, man. It's the same for football over right now. We're living in a mad time. Bigger Ant just sent me saying from Time Sport now, relegation now looks very real prospect for Man City and Chelsea. What the hell is going on? So Time Sport has now put out relegation now looks very real for a prospect of Man City and Chelsea after Premier League clubs handed out a 10-point deduction to Everton. Martin Ziegler explains what could happen for other clubs. Wow, this is what I'm saying. This is open up Pandora's box. That's what they've done here. They've literally opened Pandora's box. That's what the Premier League have done. They've opened up Pandora's box, and now we're going to get the Everton stuff, the Chelsea stuff, the Liverpool stuff. Everyone's going to be looked at. Every Premier League club, I guarantee you right now, Nottingham Forest might be looked at because Forest has spent a lot of money. All these Premier League clubs, Liverpool included, might be looked at. Everyone's going to be under the radar now. They've opened Pandora's box. Everyone's going to be looking at each other. Every owner is now going to look at the other owner from another club, especially if they're rivals, and want something done. The teams that got relegated last season, especially like Leicester City and stuff like that, are now going to look for some kind of they want to know why Everton weren't deducting points last season. If the Premier League knew about this all this time, why did they wait so long to deduct them points? They made sure they deducted them points in a season where Everton can't get relegated. Yeah, that's handy. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. people have been saying it for a long time, you know, for a few years now, that the money in football is getting too over the top. The money in football is getting too over the top, and we need to. There's got to be a time where it's got to just go bang and just put a stop on everything. Maybe we're going to have to look at, I don't know, wage caps, salary caps, transfer caps. Maybe you can't go over a certain amount of money for a certain player. You know, maybe there's levels to players. You know, you got your world class, your elite, your good, your average. Because this is happening all over the shop. You know, I've been saying it for how long now? Average players going to other teams and getting ridiculous amounts of money. You know, like your Anthony's and your Jadon Sancho's. You're a very young player, Jadon Sancho, going from Man United for 75 million and getting 300 grand a week. You know, what, you know, all that needs to be looked at. That shouldn't be happening. 21-year-olds shouldn't be on 300 grand a week. They can get to 300 grand a week in a couple of years' time, but when you're 2021, you shouldn't be on that money. Don't care how good you are. It's pathetic. It's stupid. Doesn't make any financial sense. Because you just go run your club into debt. Look at people like Jack Rodwell when he was at Sunderland. Was it Sunderland he was at? Jack Rodwell was on so much money, Sunderland couldn't afford to let him go. Because he was picking up so much cash. They couldn't afford to get rid of him. And then it absolutely kills your club. Kills your club. Bolton spending money they couldn't afford. Look at everyone. Everyone should just go back to Leeds United, writing checks they couldn't afford, ruining their club financially. I've been talking about this on my channel for so long now. I always have these discussions. Aaron in the chat will know because he's been here from day dot. You know, I've been talking about this for ages now, because when I always talk about FSG and we talk about owners and all this and all that, this is what I always keep talking about. You know, everyone keeps going about, oh, Liverpool's wages, what they give players. And I'm like, what's wrong with the wages our players receive? Like, in reality, what's wrong with it? Like, everyone moans that people like Luis Diaz are only on 100 grand a week. What's wrong with that? He'll get better, and this next contract, he'll get 150, 170 grand a week. People moan that Virgil and Alisson are only on 200 grand a week. What's wrong with 200 grand a week? As long as these players are happy that they're on these wages, why should we be giving them 400 or 500 grand a week? Because other teams do it. Because you've got stupid teams like Man United, who are 700 million pound in debt, giving a 21-year-old 300 grand a week. So apparently Liverpool should be doing that. It's stupid and makes no sense. It's a financial nightmare. It's a financial nightmare. And I think people might be starting to bloody realise it now. And the players, I think some players are greedy. I think there's some players out there that play football just for the money now. But I legitimately think most of the players that play are playing for the love of the game. That's why I look at our boys. Just look at our boys. Luis Diaz, you know, he's not on the biggest wage in the world. Luis Diaz could probably have gone to somewhere else and probably got more wages, yeah, straight away. But he was happy to come to Liverpool because he wants to play for Liverpool Football Club. He doesn't want to play for the money. You know, and when he gets his new contract, so I'm very sure by the end of the season or start of next season, Luis Diaz will probably get a new deal. And with that new deal, we'll get a bump in his wage. And he'll be happy with it. It's madness to me. Like, us as fans, we are to blame as well, because fans demand so much in the transfer window. Fans demand so much in the transfer window. We need this, we need that. Why aren't we paying 80 million pounds for that player? Why aren't we paying 100 million pounds for that player? Why aren't we paying 90 million pounds for that player? It's not just Liverpool fans, it's all fans. We all want that player because we see our rivals getting that player, and we don't want to fall behind our rivals. We're all like this as fans. But financially, we can't destroy our own club at the same time. We can't financially destroy the club. So you have to play within your means. Plus, there's laws and rules to abide by in the Premier League and in UEFA and in FIFA. So you have to abide by them rules. You know what I mean? It's just, I would love Liverpool to go and buy. I would love, look, nothing would like me more to have a really wealthy owner like a Roman Abramovich type owner and just go, right, you want that player? No worries. Let me just go out and get that deal done. You want that player? No worries. I want to go and get that deal done. As long as we stay in our financial means and we're not breaking no rules set by UEFA and the Premier League, then it's absolutely fine. But as soon as you step out of that boundary, because the demand is so huge, so you can't afford to do it, so you step out of that boundary and you break the rules and you hide stuff to get away with it for years and years and years, eventually it comes back and bites you on the arse. Look at Chelsea right now. Chelsea are being looked at not because of what's happened with Todd Bowley. That Chelsea are being looked at because what happened with Roman Abramovich, of the years he was owner and the shady deals he apparently did. They're now looking at that, and that could come back and bite Chelsea on the arse. Although Roman's not even their owner anymore. It's a mad world we live in, you know, and I just feel for Everton, I really do. I feel for it. I think Saint needs to come in, though, in football, because there's too much now. No one can keep up with it. Let's be fair. Can anyone keep up with it? Can the law men keep up with it? Can the courts keep up with it? The people getting charged, can they keep up with it? I mean, it's going to take years and years and years and years and years to look at all City's charges. They ain't going to happen tomorrow just because Everton have got done. And by that time, City are going to keep spending, and you can never keep up with it. So what does everyone want to do? They want to jump in the boat and join them. You don't want to be out the boat spitting in. You'd rather be in the boat spitting out. That's where everyone wants to be. They want to jump the boat, so they're in there with them. That's just get in bed with them sort of thing. If they're doing it, we might as well do it. Let's join that case. And that's how the fans feel. That's how Liverpool fans feel. That's how Tottenham fans feel. They're like, let's just join it. Let's just go in now and do what everyone else is doing. Because no one else is getting caught. Why are we sitting here trying to abide by the rules? You know, spending within our means when we're like, fuck it. Let's get in the same boat as everyone else and just outspend everyone. Let's do that. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what to feel about it. I don't know what to feel. I just feel, I've just had enough of football financially. It's just, Chelsea got interest-free loans and Roman over the years, which are written off when they were sold at 100 million. Yeah, but they're still finding Saint for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, they got. And do you know why Barcelona can't sell De Jong? Because they owe him so much money that if Barcelona sell him, De Jong will just come after his money. So they just keep him. It is mad. Exactly, and I don't like it. This is what I don't like about football no more. Like you guys are saying, it's not making the game enjoyable, in my opinion. It's basically whoever's the richest now. That's why I keep saying. I said this. I've been saying this forever now. Everyone said no to the Super League, yeah, because it'd close the shop off to all the other teams in the pyramid of football, yeah. But we live in a Super League. The elite are the elite. They don't help. I've been saying this for ages. When Bolton and Bury were in financial distress because what they did to their club, the Manchester clubs and around Greater Manchester, City and Man United didn't care about their Greater Manchester rivals, like Bolton and Bury and all that. They didn't care about them. What football pyramid? What does everyone going on about this football pyramid? We've got to make sure these other lower teams are financially looked after. You know, it's very important for the big teams in that city to financially benefit and help the smaller clubs in that area. So did Man United and Man City really care about Bury, who are in Greater Manchester, part of that area? Did they give a shit about them? No. Of course they didn't. I don't get this football pyramid bollocks. We live in a Super League right now. We live in a Super League right now where the elite are the elite and they look after themselves. They don't care about the little man down the road. They never will. They never have done. If Tranmere Rovers got in financial difficulty, Liverpool and Everton are not helping Tranmere Rovers out. They're just not, because they're the elite. The elite look after themselves. So everyone keeps going bashing on, oh, don't do a Super League. That's when I fell out of love with FSG because of the Super League. Open your eyes. Look what's happening in front of you right now. It's the Super League we live in now. It's a Super League in reality. Look at politics. It's the same. It's all the Super League. Also, younger footballers are more interested in how many millions they can make each year rather than winning cups and showing loyalty to your club. Exactly. Contract should mean something. Contract should mean something. I don't think you should be able to buy players. I think we're going to come to a time when you can't buy players no more. Contract should mean something. You shouldn't be able to buy a player when they're in a contract. It's legally binding. Only in football you're allowed to do that. You've got a legal binding contract where you're playing for that club, yeah? But any time another club can actually come and buy you. Do you know how actually mad that is? When you're legally obliged to written a legal document, a contract where you play for that club, but at any time another club can just come and buy you. Do you know how mad that actually is? It's balmy. It don't make it's stupid. You know, you should be obliged by to play. If you've got a 4-year contract, you should stay at that club for 4 years. If you're willing to sign a new contract and an extension to that contract, and you're willing to do that, and you're there for 5 or 6 years, that's how long you stay at that contract. You should be obliged to stay at your team. I've got a feeling in the years to come, I think we might see smaller contracts, like 2-year deals, where people just stay at a club for 2 years. After that 2 years, they move on, go to another club, stay at that club for 2 years, move on, go to another club. And that's the way I think football's going to go in the future. I think that's the way football's going to go in the future. It will stop player power and it'll stop all this financial. It might bring the money down in football a little bit and make a fairer competition. But that's just my thoughts. I might be just stupid. I don't know. That's just my thoughts of the whole thing. But look, guys, big up to everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate it. Yeah. I do appreciate, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Look, I will be back. I'm busy this weekend, so I'm trying to think when I'll be back. So I want to do a video talking about Liverpool's players and international duty. So you got Darwin Núñez doing bits, Jota's been doing bits, Luis Diaz been doing. His game against Brazil was amazing. So I might do a video talking about that. I've got a video talking about Thiago as well. So that might be up Sunday evenings. I'm busy this weekend, so that might be up Sunday evening. So look out for that on Sunday. And then we are back. I'll be back on Tuesday and I've got a special video coming out Tuesday. And then as the week goes on, we got Manchester City build up. So yeah, busy time on the channel. So I'm busy the weekend. Sunday night I'll throw out a video, and then back till Tuesday. Yeah, guys, look, people don't have to agree with what I'm saying and you don't have to agree with me, guys. It's just my thoughts and the way I feel about football right now that I outlay. So if you guys don't have to agree with me, and stuff like that. You're perfectly welcome to. Everyone's welcome to their own opinion about what's going on financially in the world of football right now and the issues with the financial world of football right now. But It's just my opinions, guys, and what I hate and like about football. But thank you very much, guys, for joining me. You guys are beautiful. You guys are brilliant. Until Sunday evening, make sure you have a great weekend, guys. Whatever.